All right, as everyone knows, Tim McNeil is our political consultant up there in the Washington, D.C. area. And Tim, we're really concerned, man. I tell you, we have been back and forth on this Tea Party issue. And we've been talking a little bit about Obama and these midterm elections and whether or not the president is going to carry the day, whether or not the Tea Party is going to carry the day, whether or not the GOP has some momentum. Man, you know, you have to ask now, is it lemon tea or is it sweet tea? And the more we go along, it's tasting like sweet tea. The Tea Party had some very alarming victories here recently concerning these primaries. How are you reading some of these races in particular? I want to talk about Christine O'Donnell and Mike Castle and that United States Senate primary in Delaware.
Absolutely, you're very right. That the Tea Party candidates, they are winning, at least in their primary. But I actually do believe that it's more concerning for the Republican Party than it is for the Democratic Party, because these ultra-conservative, right-wing candidates are winning these Tea Party slots, and they're winning because the GOP is split. Yeah. But it may be very hard for these candidates to win in a general mainstream election where you're going to have your moderates that are going to have to vote for that person. And these people, by all accounts, many of them are extremists.
Well, you know, I tell you, Tim, that brings us to the next critical question. Now, Christine O'Donnell is going to have to face a very tough Democratic candidate in Christopher Coons, a guy who has a long, storied political career. Does she have any chance at all against a seasoned veteran like Coons?
General wisdom would say that she doesn't have much of a chance. She has raised some money. In fact, they announced today that she raised about $1 million. Although they, you know, at the same breath, she got most of that money from 10 individual donors. So that doesn't mean that she has a broad support because she raised money. But in a small state like Delaware, you can really infuse, you know, well over $1 million on advertising and so forth. You may get people to sway your way. So it is concerning. Like I said, I think it's more concerning for the Republican Party because they don't know what to do with the people.
And it's really interesting because somebody like Christine O'Donnell has said stuff in the past like she's had issues with women serving in the military, that there shouldn't be women serving in the military, especially not on the front line. It's a distraction to the men who are doing their training, and it cripples the readiness of the United States Army. Condoms don't stop the spread of HIV. She's been a full-time abstinence campaigner in her previous life before she decided to become a politician. I can't even, you know, repeat on the air for this show some of the things that she said in public. And she's even anti-self-abstinence. And I don't want to get into what self-abstinence is, but if you use your imagination, I think you can figure it out. And I think the Republican Party knows who she is. They know she's said all these things. They know she's gone way out there, and they don't feel comfortable attaching their brand to that. But they're trying to get back to a Big Ten ideology, but it's pulling them further right.
You are absolutely right. It is pulling them to the extreme, and extremists don't win in mainstream elections. So the GOP, the Republican Party, really, they're worried about it.
Well, I want to ask you this, Tim, the overall dynamic. Do Tea Party candidates generally have the financial wherewithal to compete in general elections? It just seems to me like they're sort of building a program as they go along. They don't have any real infrastructure from a political or financial standpoint. I don't know if you have the same read.
You're absolutely right. And when it comes to really raising large amounts of cash, which is absolutely required to win a large election, you know, presidential election, President Obama raised the bar. You're essentially going to have to raise you almost $1 billion to be president. That's what the bar said. An extremist candidate that said some of the things that, as you just stated there, they will not get the broad level of support that will raise the amount of cash that can really win in a large election.
Well, Tim, we used to call her Sarah Palin, and now she's had some success here. So we got to go back to calling her Sarah Palin. Where does she stand in all of this? I mean, she has supported a number of successful Tea Party candidates. You know, is she part of the fuel that is pushing this success with the Tea Party? Or is it really just this discontent, this general discontent out here with both the Republican and the Democratic Party?
you hit the nail on the head. It is the general discontent on both sides. Everybody's mad. You got Democrats that are mad that they didn't get what they wanted. You got Republicans mad that they didn't get what they wanted. And the overall overlay of that is this poor economy and high job numbers and high foreclosure rates. Everybody's just in a bad mood, and they want to out whoever's in.
But Tim,
I think that is what's doing.
Do you agree with what Al Gore was saying today? I'm just going to give you a little snippet of what he said. He said, once the American public focuses on the issues and they say, well, what happened when we had a Republican-controlled Congress, we had a Republican-controlled Senate, and then they focus on what we did with a Democratic-controlled Congress and Senate, and they really sit down and they get to these elections, to make these final decisions, that they're going to come to a sober decision and say, look, we kind of like the way the Democrats do it. It wasn't pretty, but we kind of like it. Do you think that's possible?
Unfortunately, the mainstream general working person that's going every day, taking care of their family, does not have the level of interest to go back and do a detailed analysis. So, no, I don't think that is going to happen. We're going to do a real detailed comparison and say, well, I like that. It's still going to be what's happening to me now.
Yeah.
Is my situation better now? Is it under the Democrats? If it is, they'll vote Democrats. If they feel that situation is worse, if there's any chance that the incumbents cause that, then they'll vote against them.
Yeah. Well, I have to ask you, as the end game here, Tim, will the Tea Party ultimately become a viable third party, or is this just one of these flash in the pan type things where they got a little notoriety, a couple of victories, and then over the next couple of years we'll see them fade out?
Oh, absolutely, they will fade out. The fringe party never do well, and right now they're successful because of the general anger there is amongst the electorate, and this will come to pass. The cycle, downturns always turn up. Once we start turning this economy around, the country around, then people will get all done.
All right, Tim, I don't know if you can hear that smooth background music right there. That's Tony Anniversary. Brother, it is also your 1-year anniversary with Law 360 with Ken Harris. So thank you for being with us, man.
Excellent. Thank you for having me.
All right. My man Tim McNeil on the Hill, our political correspondent.